All right, let's get right into it. Think about your learning management system, your LMS. You know, the one that used to be a total game changer for your company's training. Well, what if it's now the very thing holding you back? So how can you tell when it's really time for an upgrade?
I mean, let's just ask it point blank. Is your current LMS holding you back? It's a serious question, and you're not the only one thinking about it. So many L&D and HR leaders are asking themselves the exact same thing right now. Because, let's be real, what worked 5 years ago is probably a major bottleneck today. And hey, if you're feeling that frustration, you are so not alone. Get this, only a tiny 9%, just 9% of organizations are actually very satisfied with their LMS. Meanwhile, a massive 42% are actively looking to replace theirs. That's not just a small issue. It's a huge industry-wide problem. And you know, the stakes here are incredibly high. We're not just talking about some random software. Your LMS is an absolutely critical tool for developing your employees and, maybe most importantly, for retaining them. It's what drives engagement, helps you manage security risks, and it's the key to upskilling your entire workforce for whatever's coming next.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What are the actual warning signs? The red flags you should be looking for. We're going to start with the most obvious stuff, the user experience problem. These are the issues that your learners, your admins, well, they feel them every single day.
All right, sign number 1, and it's a big one, a clunky, outdated user experience. You know what I'm talking about. Those legacy systems with confusing menus and navigation that just makes no sense. They create this huge learning curve that just frustrates everyone. On the flip side, modern platforms, they give you that sleek, intuitive, consumer-grade experience we've all come to expect from, well, every other app we use. So if your LMS feels like something from a bygone era, that's not just a cosmetic problem. It's actively killing your adoption rates and discouraging people from learning.
And that frustrating user experience? It gets a whole lot worse when there's zero flexibility. Because in today's world, let's be honest, learning has to happen anytime, anywhere.
So if your LMS is basically useless on a mobile device, you're shutting down a massive opportunity for learning. I mean, does the interface just completely break on a phone screen? Are your courses still running on ancient tech like Flash? Seriously, Flash? Can your team even finish a simple quiz on the go? These are all symptoms of poor mobile support, and they are total deal breakers for your remote and frontline workers. And the result? Lower completion rates and widening skill gaps across the board.
Okay, let's move on. Now we're going to look under the hood a little bit, at what we call the hidden technical debt. These are the really serious problems lurking in your tech stack that can quietly sabotage your entire L&D strategy. Which brings us to sign number 3, terrible or just plain inadequate analytics. Look, if all your LMS can spit out are these basic canned reports with absolutely no way to dig deeper and customize, you're basically flying blind. You're operating in the dark. You have no way to prove the ROI of your training, and you can't connect what people are learning to how they're actually performing on the job.
So you got to ask yourself this, honestly. Can your LMS answer the really critical business questions? Can it show you engagement trends? Can it find correlations between training and performance? Can it tell you your compliance status right now? If the answer is no, or kind of, then you're missing out on the essential data you need to make smart, strategic decisions.
And you know, getting those answers is pretty much impossible if your data is stranded on some isolated island. Which brings us right to our 4th sign, a serious lack of connectivity. A modern LMS just can't exist in a vacuum.
And just how connected are we talking? Well, think about this. The average organization today uses over 130 different software apps. Your LMS has to be able to talk to your HR system, your CRM, all your other critical tools. If your team is stuck manually exporting spreadsheets to move data around, your process isn't just inefficient, it's begging for errors, and it's absolutely holding you back. Now, sign number 5 is a huge red flag, reduced vendor support. And this quote just says it all perfectly. If your vendor has stopped innovating, your LMS is effectively running on borrowed time. I mean, wow. When the updates dry up and support gets slow, you're not just falling behind on new features. No, it's much worse. You are exposed to serious security vulnerabilities and compliance risks, and that could end up costing your business big time.
All right, let's shift gears now for our final set of signs. This is all about the business impact. We're talking about how an old, creaky LMS directly hits your company's bottom line.
Sign number 6 is all about the difficulty of scaling. And again, this quote just nails it. If increasing the number of users or courses causes terror rather than excitement, that's a glaring sign your LMS isn't up to the task. I love that. If you're scared of growing, you have a problem. A system that crashes every time you launch a big company-wide training is a system you've definitely outgrown.
And last but not least, sign number 7. High operational costs and a really low ROI. The pressure from the top to justify every dollar spent is immense. Check out this stat. 57% of CEOs expect to see a positive return on their tech investments within months. Not years, months. So if you're just pouring money into patches and workarounds for an old system and you have no way to actually prove its value, you've got a serious problem on your hands. Look, clinging to an outdated system comes with all these hidden costs, right? Opportunity costs, strategic costs. You have to remember that the cost of not switching can often be way, way higher than the cost of actually migrating to a new solution.
So, with all that said, what's the path forward? Where do we go from here? Well, it's all about embracing a modern solution and really future-proofing your entire L&D strategy. See, migrating to a modern LMS isn't just about putting out fires. It's about unlocking incredible potential. We're talking about higher learner engagement and adoption. We're talking about having data-driven insights to finally prove your ROI. Real mobile access so your team can learn anywhere. Seamless integration into your tech ecosystem. And you get a vendor partner who's actually committed to innovation. It's how you build a learning strategy that's ready for whatever the future throws at you.
And we'll end on this final, pretty powerful thought. The real risk here isn't changing your technology. It's not evolving your strategy. The real risk is standing still. Evolution and growth aren't the risk, stagnation is. So the question you have to ask is your current LMS helping you grow, or is it forcing you to stagnate?